Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, the JAMODI podcast is powered by Shoot 360. The future of basketball has arrived in Dallas-Fort Worth. Shoot 360 combines the latest sports technology with the fundamentals of basketball skill development. The result is a one-of-a-kind video game-like basketball program designed to improve your shooting, dribbling, and passing. Visit shoot360dfw.com to learn more and register for your free 1-hour workout evaluation. Shoot 360, the future of basketball is here. Let's see, I'm doing the math. 24 of your 27 years, you've also coached football. Coach, I'll tell you, that's incredible. That's rare and healthy dose of perspective for me right now. The days when I might be complaining about sixth grade PE or that I have to be at a faculty meeting, whatever it is.
Right.
You've been faithful in that role. And I would imagine a lot of basketball coaches out there, when they hear that, are going to go, oh no, because of the amount of time that it takes to be a head basketball coach. But then also, football, those guys work hard. Like they spend a lot of time. And so one of my favorite questions to ask is how you balance two sport athletes, because it's not something that I've done well over the years, trying to get better and better at it. But in your situation, how have you dealt with that, especially since you literally had your feet in both sports?
Well, when I was in high school, I tried to play everything. So we try to put that on our kids. We want our kids to be multi-sport athletes. So, and I would say, I'm not the only, we're class 4A. I'm probably not the only class 4A coach, head basketball coach who coaches football. If you go down, those lower classifications, those guys do it as well. You know what I mean? So, and, for me, it's just coaching. And that's kind of why I got into it. I would say for the last maybe 4 or 5 years, every kid that's been on our starting basketball team, on our varsity, has been on our varsity basketball team, has been on the varsity football team. So we wait until football season's over. I try to give them some time off. I know they're banged up. As a coach of the sport of football, I'm probably banged up too. So, we take some time off, and we try to slowly, gradually, get them in the gym. And then, we go that route. But I think it's important that, our athletic director, since the time I've been there, has always been our head football coach. And so I think it's very important that you have good communication with the head football coach. I'm not a fan of, we're going to practice football, and then we're going to go to the gym and we're going to, get some gym workout in, or, something like that. I believe that if you're in that sport, you give your all to that sport. Mm-hmm. And, you can't serve two masters, because you're going to cheat one of them. You know what I mean? So, if our kids are playing football, man, y'all play football. And the other positive to that is me coaching football, I'm out there with the guys that's going to play basketball. So, we're developing that relationship. They know who I am. It's different for me on the football field as an assistant coach,
right,
than it is, for me as the head coach. But I think our kids, I know I've been there for a while, but I think our kids understand that, Coach Snell he's a little different on the football field, but he's going to coach the mess out of you, no matter where it is. You know what I mean? So, those guys, like I said before, I just believe that, and even though my son wasn't a multi-sport athlete, he just concentrated on basketball, even though I asked him every year to play football. I asked him every year, hey, man, you want to play this year? You can play, man. You can play inside receiver. You can do whatever you want to. And I'm pretty sure if he would have played, then it'd been 23 straight years of coaching football and basketball as the head coach. So, and it's okay. It's long. It's a long season. I've had some really good athletic directors who and head football coaches who realize that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They understand that, coach is giving his all to this sport. He's going to give his all to his sport because he's the head coach. But we're gonna help him out in any way we can. And I've had some really, really good athletic directors. And the athletic director that gave me the opportunity to step away from football for a little bit, Shane Anderson, he's a head coach at Midway High School right now. He's actually a graduate of Connally High School. So I coached him when he was in high school. So
so you just basically told him that you were going to step. No.
So when a new guy comes in, he brings in the coaches that are already on staff, and I'm indebted to him, man, because he gave me that opportunity to spend those 3 years with my son.
Yeah.
And so my son's freshman year, I was coaching football. So when he came in, he just asked, he said, I want you to coach football. And he said, so what do you want to do? I just said, just give me enough time to where I can just spend time with my son. And he said, I'll tell you what. And so he gave me my football responsibilities, which was really not no football, just kind of, hang out with, go to practice. I didn't have to be at the meetings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Go to all the games, help out where needed. But he didn't stress me. He didn't bother me over it. Now, he did say that now, once your son graduates and I'm still here, you gotta come on back. And so when he gave me that, I was like, no doubt, man, I'll come back and try to do whatever I can to help you with this football program. And so with that being said, man, it's always been kind of easy for me. It's like the expectation. Like, we want our kids to be multiple sport. It doesn't have to be football, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, we just want our kids being busy the whole time. And it also helps, with their grades and stuff like that. Yeah. We can also hold them accountable in that fashion.
I got to imagine it's a pretty healthy culture for those players, knowing that there is, because I think as coaches, we can be territorial. These are my guys. These are why are you talking to my player? Why But it's not. It's their 4 years. It's the only time that they have.
Correct.
And it's our job to maximize that. And it was really unique too. I thought about the relationship you must have with your players, because that the head coach seat and that 18 inches over in the assistant seat, it's a very different dynamic with players. Mm-hmm. We still have a good relationship. We get to know them and we care about them deeply. But there's been times where I've had assistant coaches that they tend to not be friends. I think you got to be careful of that. But It's a different dynamic. They maybe get a little closer sometimes. I got closer with our assistant coaches in college. And so I would imagine it's pretty cool for you to be the assistant coach, getting to know them a little deeper, but then being able to change that. And I would imagine your relationship's even stronger with them come basketball season.
And I think the time that I've been there, like I said, I'm coaching, I'm working with guys that I coached. Our principal right now is actually a young man that I coached, so, and I guess, for lack of a better phrase, my reputation precedes me.
Yep.
So when those kids come through, they kind of know what Coach Snell is kind of already about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And some of my older players say, "Oh, Coach, you're getting soft." I don't think I'm getting soft. I'm getting older, and times change, so you kind of have to adjust with the time. At least that's what I've been able to try to do, is adjust with, because when I first started, the cell phones weren't just, every kid didn't have a cell phone. So you have to adjust and move with technology, or you're going to fall behind, just like with anything. So, dual sport athletes, man, we harp on it. We want all our kids to be multi-sport athletes.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.